Hey, everyone. Have you ever felt like you were being manipulated without even realizing it? Manipulation can be a sneaky thing, often hiding in plain sight and leaving you questioning how and why it's happening to you. That's why it is important to learn about subtle manipulation techniques so that you can protect yourself from them. The good news is you've come to the right place. Today we'll be revealing 5 subtle manipulation techniques you need to know. Make sure to watch until the end because the last one is the most important. So let's dive in. Number 1. The broken record technique. Ever had someone repeat the same phrase over and over again until you just had to do what they wanted? This common manipulation tactic, called the broken record technique, involves repeating a phrase or question until the other person gives in and does what you want them to do. It's like a broken record stuck on repeat. But instead of music, it's your manipulative message. This technique works especially well when you have a strong emotional connection with the person you're talking to. By repeating your request over and over again, you increase the chances that they will agree to it. For example, let's say you're trying to convince your friend to go out with you on a Friday night. You could use the broken record technique by saying, "Hey, let's go out this Friday. It'll be so much fun. We haven't hung out in a while. Come on, it'll be so much fun." And so on. This method is often used in sales to get customers to buy a product or service, but it can also be used in everyday conversations. So be aware of it the next time you're trying to convince someone to do something. No. 2. The halo effect. Have you ever met someone who was so attractive that you just couldn't help but like them, even if you didn't know them? That's called the halo effect. This cognitive bias causes us to generalize a positive trait in one area to other areas of a person's life. So if we think they're attractive, we also assume that they're kind, intelligent, and trustworthy. Manipulators often use the halo effect to their advantage by cultivating an image of themselves as being attractive, charismatic, and likable. They believe that once people perceive them in a positive light, they'll be more likely to trust them and do what they want. However, it's important to remember that the halo effect can also work against you. If people don't find you attractive or likable, they may generalize that to other aspects of your personality and intelligence. So be careful of manipulators who might try to use the halo effect to take advantage of you. To avoid falling prey to this tactic, it's important to remember that physical attractiveness isn't always what it seems. People who seem attractive may not always be what they appear to be. Don't let your guard down just because someone is good-looking. Number 3. The door-in-the-face technique. Have you ever been faced with a request so outlandish that you automatically assumed it was a joke? The door-in-the-face technique is a manipulation strategy where the manipulator makes an unreasonable request knowing that it will be turned down, so that when they make a smaller, more reasonable request afterwards, it seems much more appealing. Let's say you're trying to convince your roommate to split a $1,000 rent. You could start off by asking for $1,500, knowing that it's too high. They'll probably turn it down. Then you ask for $1,000, which now seems much more reasonable in comparison. The reason this technique works is that our brains love to frame things in terms of percentages. So when we go from a really high number to a lower one, it seems like a much bigger discount than it actually is. That's why it is important to be aware of the door-in-the-face technique so you don't fall victim to it. Be wary of people who ask you for huge favors and then try to guilt-trip you into doing smaller ones. Remember that sometimes people will try to manipulate you into doing something by making it seem like they're doing you a favor. 4. That's not what I wanted to say. Have you ever been in a situation where someone said something that offended you, but when you called them out on it, they acted like they didn't mean it that way? That's exactly what's going on here. This tactic is called the "that's not what I meant to say." And it's when someone tries to manipulate you by pretending to have misspoken or misunderstood. They intentionally say something that's meant to make you feel a certain way, but then they play dumb when you call them out on it. For example, let's say you ask your boss for a raise and they respond, "You're not worth that kind of money." Instead of owning up to their offensive comment, They might try to backpedal it by saying, "Oh, that's not what I meant to say. I was just trying to give you feedback." The "that is not what I meant to say" tactic is often used by people who are trying to avoid accountability for their words or actions. By pretending to be confused or misunderstood, they can shift the blame onto you and avoid having to apologize or make amends. It's important to be aware of this tactic so you don't fall for it. If someone tries to gaslight you by pretending to misunderstand what you said, stand your ground and don't let them get away with it. Number 5. The fine, whatever. Have you ever been in an argument where your point was clear, but the other person just kept insisting that they didn't understand what you were saying? You could tell they were being manipulative, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. That's called the fine, whatever technique. And it's when someone pretends not to understand what you're saying in order to avoid having to engage with you. It's a way for them to shut down the conversation and avoid addressing the issue at hand. This tactic is often used by people who are trying to avoid accountability or responsibility. By pretending to be confused or uninterested, they can avoid having to engage with you and move away from the uncomfortable topic. For example, let's say you're trying to talk to your partner about an issue in your relationship. You might say, "I feel like we haven't been spending enough time together lately." But instead of having an honest conversation, your partner might respond with, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean." Fine, whatever. This tactic can be frustrating and disheartening, but it's important to be aware of it so you don't fall for it. If someone keeps insisting that they don't understand what you're saying when you know that they do, it's probably because they're trying to avoid the conversation. Don't let them get away with it. Call them out on their behavior and make it clear that you're not going to tolerate being ignored. And there you have it, 5 subtle manipulation techniques that you should be aware of. From the broken record technique to the fine, whatever approach, each of these tactics can be used to manipulate you into doing what someone else wants. But by learning about them, you can protect yourself from falling prey to them. Remember that manipulators often use these techniques without you even realizing it. So it's important to be aware of them and on the lookout for red flags. Don't let anyone manipulate you into doing something that you're not comfortable with. Instead, stand up for yourself and make your voice heard. We hope that after watching this video, you'll be better equipped to handle any manipulative situations that come your way. So share this video with others who might benefit from it, and leave a comment below to let us know which tactic you found the most surprising. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay sharp and don't let anyone push you around.